higher, 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 higher. Keep climbing higher, 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 higher. Light up, light up, light up, light up, light up, light up, light up. Higher, higher, raise glass.
Hello and welcome to TechChecker. Today I'm going to be showing you this VicTsing sports action camera. It's a UHD 4K action camera. It also supports 1080p. It's got a 20 megapixel sensor, which I believe is Sony. It's got a 170 degree wide angle lens, and it comes with a load of stuff. It's got a HDMI kit. HDMI port rather with it, and I'll just read off a few of these specs because they're really staggering. It's got a Sony IMX117 image sensor, video resolution 4K at 24 frames per second, 2K at 30 frames per second, 1920 by 1080, so that's 1080p at 60 frames a second, 1280 by 720, so that's 720p at 120 frames per second, which is good for slow-mo. Now this is where it gets interesting. 640 times 480, 240 frames per second. Now I know the resolution is not brilliant at that, but for an action camera to have a sensor which is capable of 240 or even 120 frames per second, that's really good. It's got 3.7 volt 1050 milliamp Li-ion battery. Longest recording time is 90 minutes. Waterproof up to 30 meters with the case. It's got built-in Wi-Fi. It's got a 170 degree angle. The compression mode is H.264. The net weight is 62, and it's got a 2-inch HD screen on the back. And the image resolution 20 megapixels, 12, 8, 5 and 2. Now bearing in mind this 4K, you will need a 4K monitor or a 4K device which will be able to play this, to view it and edit it. Now I'm lucky enough to have an Apple 5K, so I can do the editing on this as well. What I will do is, on Amazon unfortunately you're only going to be able to see whatever Amazon lets you, the compressed format. On YouTube this will be, the film of the actual camera will be in 4K, so you can see exactly how good the quality is. So let's undo the box and get on with it, because that's what we're all after, to see what it's like and give it a good test out. Because action cameras are meant for action, so I will definitely be testing this out. I do a lot of action stuff, so I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with this yet, but I'm sure I'll come up with something. So we've got an accessory part and a camera part. Let's pull the two boxes out. Underneath there's another box. Take that out. Comes nicely packed. So let's have a look in the bottom case first. Okay. So you've got some Velcro straps. Very handy. USB to micro USB to charge the device, a extender, another battery, which is an excellent thing with this. You get two batteries with it, so you can have double the length of time, which is nice. Get a spare back just in case you crack it or the seal goes. There's a spare replacement. Get some zip ties. Screen cleaner. This is basically so that you can tie an extra support to the camera, so if it comes loose, it will, if it comes loose of its main bracket, it has this secondary, that's what this bit of wire is for. So let's put those in the box. Okay, so we've got a manual which I'll quickly go through. Waterproof case, fixing base, protective cover, back clamp, adhesive mounts, bicycle stand, base, adapter, some ribbons which are zip ties, switch support 2, switch support 3, different heights, fixed base, 3M adhesive tapes ×2, some bandages which are the zip wraps, 2 batteries, the wire rope, data line, cleaning cloth, and the user manual. And it just goes through all the different specs. I'm not going to bore you with all that. If you want to see them, you can pause the video when you like. Supports up to a 64GB card also. Maximum length 90 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to get my phone and I'm going to download this app. I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, so I've got my phone. Let's get the get a quick scan app up. Okay, so open that up. And there's the app, Final Cam. Open it up now, just let that download. Now, I did watch a video on this before I got this camera, and someone said about class 10 memories that you need it, which is true. But what they didn't say is if you want to record in 4K rather, you're going to need a fast class 10. So I have got 90 megabytes per second. Now a lot of the other class 10s are between 40 and 60. You need a really fast speed if you're going to be recording in 4K. So I'll leave a link in the description if you're watching this on YouTube, and if you're watching this on Amazon, this was bought on Amazon. Here's the device. I think I paid about £12 or something for it. It wasn't expensive. Might have been a little bit more because it's a fast card, but it was definitely under 20 quid. And you definitely need the fast memory if you're going to be filming in 4K. If you've got anything less than 90 meg, if you've got like a 40 megabyte per second card, you're going to have trouble. It's going to stutter and all sorts. So right, let's have a quick look in the accessory pack while we're doing all this. Get a few nice things in there. So we've got a standard backing. If you're going to be vlogging or you're going to be doing audio, this is the one you want, because when it's in the waterproof case, you'll find that no matter what camera you get, if they're in the waterproof case, the sound isn't going to be good because obviously they're waterproof. These are ideal if you want to be using audio with your video. So you've got a standard clip-on mount. You've got the clip-on mount, what goes on the back, so you can clip this to your tie, jacket, whatever the case may be. Let me just show you. So that clips in like so. Obviously once this is clipped in, you won't be able to see the back of the screen, but then you can click that onto some trousers or whatever you want, and then you can take it off by just unclipping it like so. So that's that. So you've got a couple of fixings here, so you can connect it to a tripod or similar mount, and also the reverse of that. You've got a couple of base plates, large one with a screw fitting, one without. They fit in there like so. You then got what I call a swan neck mount. You've got your bike mounts. I might be using that later. got a small adapter and a larger one, so you get plenty of parts in there to get you going. I'm just thinking what I can connect the camera up to, whether I'm going to do some skateboarding or whether I'm going to do some bike riding or whether I'm going to use it in the car. I haven't quite decided yet. So here's the camera, nicely packaged. So it's got a safety release. I'll clip it like so. Comes out. The camera looks really nice. I like the silver, and then the power button on the front. It's your standard GoPro size. It's got a protection on the screen. I'm going to leave it on there. I always end up doing. You've got the Wi-Fi button, down button, a speaker button, and a microphone. You've got a micro HD. You've got your power in for your charging and also for your data transfer. Let me get this out while we're talking about that. As I say, I can't recommend enough. Make sure you get a decent memory card. Get one of around about 90 megabyte, 80 at the minimum if you want to be recording 4K video. If you get anything smaller, you are going to have trouble if you want to record 4K. If you want to record 1080p, that's fine. You can use a lower megabyte class 10 card. I've gone for one of the better ones. I think it's a good camera, it deserves a good card. So I'm going to stick that in there like so. Let's see if it's got some juice in it. Okay, so we're on. So we've got 3 hours 3 hours 9 minutes. Full HD P60. WDR camera. So let's have a look at the menus. So,
video start.
Oh my god,
Video stop.
that's brilliant. I've got at least 15 GoPro cameras through my job, or other types of cameras. Not one of them speaks to you like that. That is really good. You get a clear recognition that the video is starting. It actually physically tells you, so that's really clever. That's to connect to the Wi-Fi. So let's get that on. So let's see if I can find this on my phone then. So what you need to do is you need to go to your Wi-Fi settings, and then you need to find the camera. Now this camera is called Sport D blah 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 blah. The code is 128. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Click join.
Low power.
It just said low power. Right, I'm going to connect the power lead up just so that the video doesn't. You can still use it and I can go through all the different bits. So that's charging it up. Right, so that's connected to the sports camera. So then I'll go back to the app. It's connecting, and there we go, we're connected. Hello, it's me. Right, so let's see what you can do with the date's already set. That's really nice. The time is already set as well. Now I don't know whether that's synced to my phone or what, but it's set nevertheless. So let's see what settings we got. Okay, so I'm going to take you through the menu to give you some idea of what's what and how to set it up. I'm going to leave the voice on for definite. That's a really good feature. So you press the power button to cycle through the different modes. So press it once, it takes you to the photograph mode. Press it again. Takes you to a video that you've recorded, and you can play it if you want, or you can delete it, whatever. Click the next one. It then takes you to the menu. Now this is how I've got it set up so you can see. So the resolution, I'm going to leave it on Ultra HD 24 frames for the second. So just click the OK again. Loop recording I'm going to leave off because I just want it to continuously record when I use it. Gyroscope, now that's a really handy thing. That's basically going to help balance itself out. I'm going to try it on. I've never used one before, but I'm going to give it a go. White balance I'm going to leave on. Time-lapse record I'm going to leave to off, but you can have it as different time-lapse from 100 milliseconds to 5 seconds all the way up. Motion detection, now that's going to be for if you've got this set up in your vehicle. Record audio I'm going to leave that on. Date stamp I'm going to have that off. That's purely because sometimes I film with the camera upside down, and rather than mucking about having to chop that part of the video out with the date in, I just leave it off because I don't really need it. But if you're filming memorable moments, you might want that on. The next part is the angle. Now this is really interesting. I've never seen this on an action camera. You can actually change the angle of the lens from 170 degrees all the way down to 70 degrees. Now I'm not too sure if that just crops it or what. I'm assuming that's what it does. I'm going to leave it on 140 degrees. It's not quite the max, but it's not the minimum, so I'm going to leave it on that. Diving mode, now this is really interesting. I haven't seen this on a camera before. Obviously I'm going to leave that off. I don't intend on going diving at the moment with a camera. If I do, I will put that mode on. Night scene, so if you're filming at night, that's going to be really handy. It's obviously going to help bring out all the lights, and it will automatically set all that up for you. Self timer, I'm going to leave that on single, but you can change it. There you go, 2, 5, 10. I think that's it, 2, 5, up to 10. Then you've got image size. I'm going to leave it on 20 megapixels, but you can. This is for the photos. If you're going to take a photos, but it goes to 16, 12, 10, 8, 3 VGA. So I'm going to leave it on that. Burst, that's obviously if you hit the photograph, it will take 3 pictures at once rather than just one. I'm going to leave that off. The quality, I always have on fine. I want it the best possible. If you're going to be catching a picture, I want the best picture possible. Sharpness, I'm just going to leave that on normal. I try not to muck about with that. You end up normally mucking up the picture. Same with white balance, I'm going to leave that to auto. Colour, you've got colour, black and white and sepia, which is really nice if you want to film colour, black and white. I can do all that in my video editing software, so I'm just going to leave it on colour. ISO, I'd recommend leaving it on auto. If it's really bright, use it on 100, and obviously the darker it is, the higher the number. Exposure value, I'm going to leave on 0. Anti-shaking, I'm going to leave that to off. You've got delete. Okay, I'm going to delete all. You've got protect, you've got Wi-Fi, you've got Wi-Fi SSD, date and time, which is all correct already. Auto power off, I'm going to leave that to 10 minutes. Beep sound, leave that on. Voice prompt, I'm definitely going to leave that on. On-screen display, leave that on. It's also got a function for a car if you're using this as a car dash cam. Language, leave it as English. TV mode, it was set on NTSC, which is American. I'll change it to PAL. TV mode, I'm going to leave off for the moment. Screensaver, I'm going to have to 3 minutes. Frequency, I'm going to need to 50 Hz. I'm going to format the card so that it's nice and fresh for the device. Got your default settings and your version, which is really good. It was the 31st of May 2016, so you know it's a new firmware version. So that's the menu.